Dames and Herren, Masters and Ewan, and welcome back to the F1 podcast. I'm joined by Alan
Hello.
and David.
Hey.
So, here we are, the final podcast of 22.
I was waiting for you to do the final countdown then.
Abu Dhabi. So, the only things we're going to talk about are probably going to be qualifying and the race, because I didn't catch any practice, and I imagine these two didn't either.
Nope, I
No.
caught most of quali, the race, and a little bit of like the run up and the aftermath of the race, but that was it.
Yeah, I just caught most of the quality of the race, unfortunately.
But quali was very substandard.
Noah's Arky.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it. 2x2x2.
Pretty much, wasn't it? Yeah, it was very. You could tell a few of them it was end of season and they weren't afraid of turning the cars up to 11.
Hmm. It was just, I don't know, qualifying, I was expecting for it to be a little bit more eventful.
I think we always do though at the last race, but
At the end of the day, Noah's got too risky in qualifying because there was, even though the championship and the constructors' first places were decided, there was still a lot of smaller battles going on. A lot of where an odd place or two in the prize money difference meant it was worth fighting for.
Yeah, but since the redesign of Yas Marina, or whatever, has that made the track boring?
I don't know if that's why I say boring. I mean, there's one corner that certainly seems to keep providing entertainment. Oh.
Which
I
one
guess
was
we were a
that?
little worried when the class is was these classes about 4 or 5. Sainz and Hamilton I was aiming at.
I am about the chicane.
Yeah.
Hmm.
the usual.
Must have been that long sweeping hairpin now at the bottom.
Oh, it does make it so much better, doesn't it?
It's an interesting prospect. The amount of cars you can see with just an edge for a move around the outside or
I do like the design of it.
yeah.
Well, Karun had a hand in it, didn't he? Karun Chandok.
But it does look so much. It does. It's a lot better set up. You know, that long straight, and then you've got the tight corner, and then you've got your
You got the two long DRS zones
yeah.
into the long sweeping hairpin, whereas beforehand it was another chicane one, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It was another chicane, and then you went into it like a double left-hander.
Yeah.
So I remember it well from the games.
Yeah. I was trying to visualize it. I was trying to visualize it in my head, and apparently some of the drivers don't actually like the new Abu Dhabi layout. Leclerc being one of them.
He seemed to do all right Sunday on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think he preferred the one with the chicane when it had the chicanes in.
See, I prefer it without the chicanes.
Yeah, I must say. Well, it's like because we had the same with Australia, didn't we? We weren't sure what the redesign was going to do to that, and actually it seems to have done all right. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think I was more than you two. I think I like Australia a bit more than you two guys do. But
Yeah, you do. I don't like it.
yeah, but you only like tracks you race well on. So far you like none of them.
I like Bahrain. Bahrain has to be one of my.
As a short.
But no,
Hey,
Bahrain,
same as well in Austria, mate. It's very
Bahrain.
short, very fast track.
My favourite tracks are Bahrain, um, Monza, Red Bull Ring, obviously Spielberg, or Austria, and don't mind Abu Dhabi to drive, but it's not one of my favourites. But come next year, we've got a whole different animal coming in
Oh yeah,
in terms of called Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
But one thing I never realised about Abu Dhabi was it's not an old circuit. It's a relatively
No, it
new
was.
circuit.
Am I right in thinking it's a Tilke?
Um,
I think it is.
I've got to say, it's quite a good one, a Tilka's if it is.
I think it is.
Yas Marina, it first opened in 2009, so it's not that old. Yes, it is one of Tilka's,
Thought it was.
but it's one of his better tracks.
Yeah.
Well, that's not difficult because some of them were bloody awful.
Some of them are.
Yes, we're looking at you, Texas.
Oh, but no, but Texas is just literally
I like Texas,
yeah, but Texas is just Japan and all that sort of stuff in it, just chucked in.
but there's just something about the new layout I like. And
Yeah, I must say I don't find it terrible at all. It's let's say I really do like. I like what they've done with that bomb. She says take away that chicane and put the hairpin instead.
Yeah.
It's a long, fast, sweeping hairpin.
So even though this is off subject but on subject,
Off subject, us never.
so basically, one of Tilka's first ever projects was to design and build a short access road in the Nürburgring. That was one of his first ever things he'd done.
now look what he builds.
I'd say it must have been a pretty bloody awful access road.
He's one of 4 designers recognised by the FIA, but he's done quite a lot of the tracks except Silverstone. He never touched Silverstone in 2010 when Silverstone got redone. He didn't do it.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think the FIA got much of a hand. I don't think that was all the BRDC.
Yeah.
They probably chose to handle that themselves.
I mean, he's done. Obviously, he did Sepang. He's done Bahrain, Shanghai, Istanbul Park. He did Valencia, the Valencia Street Circuit.
Oh my God, that was a boring race.
Have you seen that's like abandoned now?
I think that's to be one of the worst F1 races.
I don't
my
know.
opinion.
Yeah, that Indianapolis only 6 started. It's got to be well up that.
He did Marina Bay, which is Singapore.
Yeah.
Obviously,
You don't really design a street circuit. You just kind of look at the roads and see where you can go. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
Obviously he's done Yas Marina. Apparently he did one in Korea. and he's done somewhere else as well. And
Yeah,
then
can you remember
obviously,
the Korean Grand Prix? Oh, that's about 2 years.
yeah.
Took
Yeah.
that massive long straight into a roundabout.
But then, like I say, he also designed the new, obviously, the new layout for Yas Marina.
Hmm.
But then, obviously, he was gonna do the Hanoi street circuit, but we never got Vietnam.
We got it in the game, didn't we? If I remember right.
No, we never did.
I thought we did.
What in
Yeah, we
20?
did.
What in 2020?
I'm sure it appeared in the game, but maybe didn't make it into real life in kind of a weird.
Oh no, we did get. Sorry, yes, we did get Hanoi in the game.
Yeah, because it's a weird layout.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
Tilka's. So yeah, but the thing is, and the weird thing is here, apparently Tilka was done for. He was not done, but one of the circuits that got abandoned.
That was probably Valencia, I think.
No, sorry. A circuit that was not developed that was going to be won by him in Dublin.
Alright.
Yeah.
The Potato Grand Prix, I can see it now.
But Valencia got abandoned.
Like I say, that's just derelict now.
Hmm. Oh Christ. Okay. Be
What have we done?
prepared. Vegas next year is going to be one of his.
We've already seen the layout, haven't we?
No, don't think we
I'm
have.
sure we have. We've already seen the map.
I think they've done the map already.
Have we done the map? Anyways, yeah, we're going way off course now. Let's
No
try
pun
and
intended.
let's rein it in a bit. So but just to quickly finish this off, according to this, he didn't do France.
I don't think anybody did France. It was an accident. It was a mistake that nobody dare own up to.
Some kid got hold of his design and done it.
Yeah, they gave a kid too many Smarties and a box of crayons.
But
Yeah.
no, should we get back on track?
Hey.
But yeah, like I said, according to this, he didn't do France, and I always thought France was a Tilka. Because it
No.
looks like his.
Oh, it's got all because his Olmacs were always 200 miles of runoff area with nothing to hit.
Yeah.
Was something Tilka seemed to love doing.
And I always thought it was a Tilka.
But you thought, nope.
Right, so where were we before we started talking about circuits?
Qualifying.
Qualifying.
But I don't think there's a lot more to be said on it, really, is there?
Okay, well, just to finish this little quick note off, it was somebody called Gianno Zaffelli that designed Paul Ricard.
God.
So.
Would you admit to it?
Well, somebody did. But yeah, qualifying was just. There's not a lot to say on it. I think that's why I've just basically gone off on a tangent and stalled, because there was just the usual, like you say, 2x2x2.
It wasn't much, was it?
No. I mean,
But
Charles almost pipped Max to Paul,
easy for you to say.
but Charles screwed himself a little bit. His car was very oversteery when they showed you the two on board side by side, you could see Charles was struggling.
Mm.
Tyre wear's shite for the Ferrari. That's been Ferrari's issue, is tyre wear.
Well, Ferrari's issue, they suffered early on with the porpoising, didn't they? Now they seem to get it under control better than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to forget this is that season.
Hmm.
I mean, you could hear, was it this race or was it actually last race? From the watch, you could hear the cars hitting the floor.
I think it was both races.
Both races.
You know, like on the fast race, you could hear like, doof, 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 doof.
Well, you could see stuff sparking. All you had to do was look at the Red Bull as well. The Red Bull was hellishly sparking because of where it was hitting the plank.
Don't call him that, he's listening.
And honestly, I expected a bit more fireworks from Checo and Max. I really did.
I think, as much as it wasn't great, I think Checo too much of a team. I think Checo knows the bigger picture. He's not happy with what happened, but he knows falling out with the team over it ain't going to do him any good at all.
Well,
No.
apparently they've sorted out.
Yeah, that's what they like you to think.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that bit.
What?
Fastest pit stop.
Checo won it.
No,
It was.
it was one of the McLarens.
It was a sub.
For Abu Dhabi, the fastest pit stop was McLaren, 2.32 seconds.
Hmm.
Fastest pit stop of the season was sub 2 seconds, and that was McLaren.
Yeah. Norris got a bit pissed at the title that they give him. Well, they were calling him the best of the rest. Just for the fact that he always was hanging in 7th.
Well, he finished 6th this time.
No,
Yeah.
he was like 7th in the Drivers' Championship as well. I think. He just, yeah, apparently they were calling him that, but he turned around and said that live that he hated that title.
Well, he must have hated it that much because he got fastest lap.
And
I think
did
he got right at the end, didn't you? I remember.
did you see any of the build up? The only bit I saw was
I only really saw a grid walk.
I saw a little bit of the grid walk.
I saw the first little couple of minutes, but I was having to sort of bits out at the same time.
Wasn't really, like I said, wasn't really paying much attention to the grid walk. I was paying attention towards the anthem though, and after the anthem, because they did the Guard of Honor for Seb, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that, and that's fair play.
Yeah. So a little bit of conversation about Seb here was apparently all the drivers got together and went out
Went out for a meal, yeah, I
for
saw
a meal. And obviously there was Hamilton, and I think Hamilton and Norris and that lot was quite big, sort of.
Yeah. Could
Um,
you imagine like being sat in a restaurant and all 20 F1 drivers fucking
You'd be like,
Cha-ching!
okay. But apparently there was rumours going around that it was £140,000 dinner.
No, that
No,
that was, I
I-
saw that myself. That was actually a receipt taken from Salt Bay's restaurant in Dubai.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't to do with the F1 drivers.
No, but this is what I was getting at. That it wasn't true. Because even Crofty had mentioned that like on the race that apparently, you know, something to do with like 140k. That's ridiculous. But I can imagine it would have been pricey for all 20.
Yeah, but to be fair, None of them they're going for the expensive steak because it was like just before a race and they're all freaking health conscious, aren't they? So there'd have been, 300 salads. There'd have been nobody here the expensive scotch.
No, that's not, especially when they do. Do the alcohol test them or do they just drug test them?
I have no idea. I can't imagine a lot of them drink really anyway. 'Cause like I said, the fitness regimes they're on.
Well, yeah.
I mean, okay, they might get a little bit of champagne at the end of a race that isn't in a dry state, but I can't imagine you catch any of them down local with a pint and a bag of scratchings this weekend. Let's put it that way.
Well, no, that's it. They're testing on Tuesday, aren't they?
Have they? I don't know.
What?
I know pre-season test is the like 2 weeks before Bahrain.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
they
they're
got it.
saying.
No, they were saying it's testing Abu Dhabi in a couple of days.
All right.
That might be.
I think that's more. It could be possibly ties. It could be something else. I don't know.
That could be something else. That might more likely be other, the likes of the development drivers.
Or maybe even doing some filming for one of the sponsors or something.
Because
Like that.
the official test isn't till
It's about 2 weeks before the actual race in
it's
March.
about February 23rd.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
It does happen rarely.
They might just be finishing off pre-season obligations to certain
Yeah.
sponsors and stuff, but
I don't know, but I just remember them saying that.
who said it?
Oh, it's one of the commentators.
There's only two of them.
Exactly, so it's one of them.
Are you on about them two, or are you on about the? Were you on about the presenters?
Commentators. Crofty and Brundle.
Did I hear correctly come out of Crofty's mouth? One of the corner names was called Parabolica.
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't know if he was getting
Yeah.
confused.
And I'm thinking, but hang on, isn't the Parabolica,
Monza, isn't it?
yeah, somewhere else?
I think Crofty was getting himself in a bit of a muddle.
When doesn't he?
When doesn't he? Jesus Christ. I'd love somebody to do a compilation of the many times Crofty's got things wrong.
Well, actually, the one for you.
So, yeah, getting into the race, we might as well.
That's what we're here for at the end of the day.
I mean,
Yeah. Go on.
the start of the race was just, well,
I seriously thought Perez was going to get Max into the first corner. He was right there.
Oh, he was going for it, all right, but he just backed out.
Because he knows taking both of them off into a tyre wall wouldn't have been a good look.
No.
No.
Sergio's been at this game too long to fall for things like that.
It was one of them first laps where you were thinking, oh my god, who's gonna wipe each other out?
And Hamilton and Sainz got the closest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, Hamilton repeating what he tried to do to Max last year.
But who was at fault?
Well, in the end, I mean, this is where Because officially you heard the radio call saying he'd been told to get the position back. Now the FIA don't do that. I reckon that came from Mercedes,
Yeah.
Toto, or someone like that. Said, "Look, just give the place back." Then they don't see a penalty from it. But the fact that the FIA decided to investigate Sainz first and clear him,
Yeah.
they were like, "Well, if Sainz isn't guilty, then there's somebody else who pretty much must be." But it does throw extra thoughts onto the incident at Brazil with Max.
But this also goes back to the FIA and their screw ups. That the fact of they turn around and say, "Oh, we're not going to get involved in the fact of if you've got to give the place back or not. We're going to let the teams do this."
Hmm.
What happened to Gasly? Wasn't
Well,
told.
he didn't give the place back, so he got
Yes,
penalty for it.
wasn't told he had to give the place back.
So he got penalised for it, which
'Cause
is fair enough.
Yeah, but the team didn't tell him. If
And
they
that's
had,
down to the team fault.
yes,
That's down to the team to pass messages on.
but they weren't. The team wasn't instructed by. The team wasn't instructed.
No, you're missing the point. Is the FIA are not going to instruct the teams.
But they should, because they did it the year before.
They are trying to put more onus on the teams to fix their own mistakes. They don't need spoon feeding every decision from the management. You should be able to look and go, right, that one was a bit close to the bone. Let's redress.
Well,
It's a whole. Let's play it safe. Get the place back, and then we'll overtake anyway.
Yeah.
But
And
what
then
You
they
should
get that place
you
back, and
shouldn't
then
have to wait for the FIA to turn around and tell you were a bit rough with that one. You should just be able to go, my bad, sorry. There you are.
But it's just
the FIA will investigate certain things. Yes,
really.
but if they're giving that position back, they're not going to impose any penalty.
No.
I wouldn't really call a 3 second a 3 second investigation.
Well, they obviously thought there's nothing there.
Because
Yeah, I think at that
Hamilton
point, because it had been started, they knew they didn't need an investigation, so at least we just opened the case to show
no.
they'd seen it and then closed it.
It wasn't that. It was the fact that Sainz got. They said that Sainz had was getting investigated, and then or whatever it was noted investigated, and then next minute no further investigation.
Yeah, because they had to look and realise that you couldn't really blame Sainz because he was actually ahead at the point of apex. So at that point, the onus is on the driver behind to yield.
But obviously, then Hamilton got investigated for leaving the track and then gaining an advantage because he left that track, went up
Which
a
he
bit.
blatantly
He
did.
literally blatantly did because he went up and just.
Straight line the chicane and kept the place.
Yeah. So no wonder he had to give it back. Let's. I think the FIA should make it spicy.
Go on.
They got 10 seconds to give the places back.
No, I don't agree with that. I say the system
Well,
now.
why the hell do we get it then in the game?
Because
That's
if you
the
didn't,
game.
you wouldn't. Because the game cannot. The game does not have human logic built
Yeah.
in. So the game cannot work to real life standards all the time.
No.
If that's the case, you could sit there and say, okay, why doesn't the game have red flags?
Because it doesn't. We've always said that.
I still say I'm not entirely sure how you would simulate red flags in the game.
F1 manager has them.
Different type of game, though, isn't it?
You know what I mean? How would you? Right? Could you imagine it? You sat there ready to play a race, and it comes up on the screen. Race will resume in 2.5 hours.
You would. Yeah, but you'd have to have an option of a skip. It's just. I don't know. See, I completely don't know where to go with this because it's just the race was just
The only exciting bit for the race for me was hoping there was going to be that safety car coming out when
Yeah.
Schumacher and Latifi collided.
Yeah, when the two guys who were no longer in race next year decided to have a collision.
Yeah.
but would it could have been the safety car.
Well, no, they both got going again. So.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It could have been.
And you had Seb's long-running battle with the Alpines.
Yeah.
Interesting fact about that. Did you notice on the first lap with Alonso?
No, the one thing I did notice about the start of race, which I'll come back to. What's your?
Alonso could have overtaken Seb and he didn't. Because
No, no,
because apparently he'd said before the race on the first lap, I am going to look after Seb.
He's a good boy.
No, the point I was going to make is what happened to Bottas at the start?
Yeah.
He was running last for quite a while.
Did he just get swamped or?
Probably, I think he was on the hards one, so that could explain part of it.
Yeah.
But
it just wasn't, it wasn't very. There wasn't a lot of battles, and this is what I say about like Abu Dhabi. Since the reprofile, there's not a lot of battles apart from certain spots on that track.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you what, hats off to Danny Rick in his last race to fend off Seb.
Oh yeah.
Because fucking
There was
Seb
a
was
fair few
going for
battles
him.
towards the end of the race. There was quite
Yeah,
a few.
towards the end. Once all the pit stops started shaking things up, it was just, yeah. Who knows with that one. I don't know. The track's just. Do you prefer this one or do you prefer the old layout?
this one.
This one for me, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm guessing you disagree.
I don't know, really. It's just.
Abu Dhabi, it was never going to be the greatest racetrack in the world. I mean, they pay that lot of money to be the last race of the year. For what, if it wasn't the last race, would probably be one of those tracks that just sort of disappeared into nothingness in the middle of the season. Another Paul Ricard in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've got an
The only
image.
thing he's got,
I've
the
got
only
an
sort of
image.
thing you remember for is that big hotel.
Yeah. I've got an image up in front of me of
No, not before the watershed.
Abu Dhabi as it was in 2018.
Right.
And it's interesting because the chicane that we were
Talking about, yeah.
talking about was, is it bottom? I think it's bottom of this
It was
image.
the end. It was the end of the. So the old layout, you come round the first corner, drop down the hill. You had a chicane into a hairpin, then a straight, then a hairpin, then a straight, then a hairpin. And I think it was two lefts, and then you went through the hotel section
Yeah.
in a very
Well, it's a
simplified.
long right, sweeping right, isn't it?
Yeah. You started off with a chicane, then went to, I think it was about a double apex.
You had the long straight.
Hairpin, another long straight.
Yeah.
Chicane, another long straight. Then you went to a chicane, then it says what?
Hmm.
It was either a long left or a double left or something of that
Yeah.
nature.
So basically, what they did was after that straight was just completely wipe all the rest out
Hmm.
and just make it a sweeping corner into another straight, and then a banking. Yeah,
which I
and then
quite like.
Yeah. Like I say, that hairpin was throwing up some interesting. Yeah, say you had Seb on the Alpines. Was throwing up some quite interesting battles. It's like the DRS zone was getting people close enough, but it wasn't completing the move. So it was up to them to either get the inside line or be brave enough to try and hang it around the outside.
yeah,
Which is what DRS should do. I mean, I despise when you get these courses where the DRS is just like a push to overtake button. To me, the DRS should get you close enough to make a move, but you shouldn't be making the move on the DRS.
well but the DRS supposed to give you like 12. Depends
The
on the
only fun,
circuit.
the only fun that came from this one was the drivers figuring out that you didn't want to make the overtake in the first DRS zone
Yeah.
because they just have you back in the second one.
Hmm. It just I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if
Go
you
on.
watch Hamilton did it. You know, he got overtaken in the first DRS zone. Didn't really defend because he knew he would get the second one and could overtake them.
Oh, was I the only one hoping that Hamilton and Russell were going to have a right Royal Rumble?
Well, they were free to race, weren't they?
Yeah. I honestly, when Russell led the goal, and I think we may have watched the apprentice become the master right there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Russell didn't. He had a good race, but like we've been saying all season long, he's number one driver.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it was mentioned you got what you wanted from the race as well, Chris.
What?
Seb got driver of the day.
Not by a
Yeah.
lot. 53% of the vote.
Not by a lot, over half.
Yeah,
I've seen
but
him win it with a lot less percentage.
he kind of knew everybody was going to give him driver of the day, though.
Yeah. I saw
Well,
you both. I saw you pushing it around on Twitter.
Too fucking right of pushing that bastard on Twitter.
it's only fair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you done it for Mick or for Latifi? Ducks, as I say, the last name.
I think it's because Seb's been in the game longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was being semi-facetious, as I said. It was one of those. And so it was funny how, it was looking like it was going to be those two's last races as well. Pretty certainly in the case of Latifi, I would say.
Logan Sargent's now in Williams for 2023, as you know.
Yeah, he got enough super license points together, didn't he, in the end?
Yes.
Like, he kept his nose clean in the F2 race because I
Yeah.
watched that.
Yeah,
so.
you had to get up to a certain amount of points, didn't you, or something? I don't fully follow the lower formulas, as you well know, but
He had to get. He had to have a clean. Basically, he had to have a clean race. He had to be 7th and above in the Drivers' Championship, and he had to complete over 20 something laps during an FP1 session to gain the last remaining super license points. So, and as you guys said while we were off air, it's technically the first time we've got a full lineup before
yeah.
we've
It's
even got
also,
we've even got into pre-season.
I'm trying to do the maths here. Is that 3 or 4 brand new drivers we have?
Logan Sargent, Nick De Vries,
Piastri.
Oscar Piastri, Nico Hulkenberg.
Do you
He's not a
class him as a
new
new?
driver.
I was like, he's not new. He's not new.
No, but it's about 3 drivers.
So that's but think of it. Last year was it? In fact,
You only
it was this year was the only one, wasn't it?
Guan Yu Zhou was this year.
Was the only one, so it is nice to get 3 more fresh faces.
Well, I think after we're basically now doing a season recap here.
Well, I was actually going to say off air how we might as well roll it into this podcast because I think we've covered what we want to about the race because, as we said, there wasn't a huge amount to cover.
There wasn't. But if you think about it, was it Monza performance from Nick De Vries?
Oh, yeah. Well, we all knew De Vries was going to get a C. What surprised us maybe was where he got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was kind of surprised because honestly, when they said about De Vries going in, I was thinking, oh, well, he's just going to get shoved down in the Williams, but then, no, AlphaTauri snatched him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still yet to be confirmed whether Mickey's out or whether he's just gone back into reserve capacity for Ferrari, or whether he's going to Merc like rumours have been talking.
I don't think you go to Merc. I just can't see it.
We just have to wait and see what happens and when it's announced.
Because Van Dorn is at Aston Martin. And obviously Nick De Vries.
I think, and this could be where you guys maybe know better than I do, I think almost Ferrari could be sitting this back, give Mick a year out and see if maybe Bottas steps down from Alfa at the end of next season.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing Bottas was possibly on a 2-year deal with Alfa when he signed up.
I think so.
So, give him that other year, then at the end of that year he decides to step back, and then by then Zhao's got a little bit of experience.
I can't see Bottas maybe I don't want to jinx it, but I can't see Bottas stepping back.
I think if anybody who's got enough other things going on in his life,
if anybody's
gonna be a full-time Nigel Mansell lookalike.
If anybody's gonna step down, I think it'll be Alonso first.
I think Alonso just after Kimi's record. I can very easily see Hamilton going if Mercedes don't do a lot better next year. Because he'll go and mess around with this electric Dakar he was playing with or whatever.
It kind of looked quite deflated this year.
Oh, he didn't. He doesn't enjoy it when he's not running away with it.
No. Where it didn't I don't think it bothered Russell.
Yeah, but Russell's been used to driving shit boxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. After last year's Williams, he could have been in the medical kind if probably been a step up.
Christ.
But yeah, it actually brings me to an interesting. I'm guessing you two have seen the things about the interview with Max.
Max and
hinting how he could retire when this Red Bull contract expires, which will put him at 31. It's got 2026 in it.
I can't see him doing it.
If he's got 3 or 4 world titles by then.
But I can't see him doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, he retire and then come back.
Yeah, do like Kimi did, go out for a few years. Then maybe drop back in or something.
Yeah, but with Audi and Porsche on the horizon, with Audi and the Porsche stuff on the horizon, you think he's do you think he's really gonna back out?
Like I say, if he's won, well, he's got 2 now. If he's won 3 or 4 world titles by then you kind of hit the point where
I kind of think he wants to break Hamilton's record.
You got to have a lot of luck for someone like that, though. Hamilton Schumacher's record, you've got to hope that car stays on the top of its game.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, this year it was only once they got it sorted. Remember the start of this season, it didn't look so clever for them.
What with the fuel pump issue?
Well, it was there with the general start of the season, until Ferrari decided to be all Italian about it and just fall apart.
Red Bull did have a strong car. It just didn't to start the season. From what it was in testing to from when pre-season testing to basically like even the McLaren looked strong in pre-season. It was weird because some of the cars looked stronger than they were, and then it just fell apart.
And then something like the Haas came along out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Was it
But
Haas?
to be honest, I don't.
Go on.
Go on.
No, I was just going to ask the question: was it Haas that got the extra time because of?
Could have been, I seem to.
Was it Haas got extra time because of shipping? Because the car or something wasn't.
Yes, it was when a lot of their stuff got held up in.
Hmm.
Don't you start a conspiracy theory on that now, that's all we need.
No, I was going to say, this season, I don't think there's been any real challenge for Red Bull.
No, like I say, Ferrari started strong and fell apart. Mercedes started weak and got stronger, but just left it a little too late.
Yeah.
And then it was always just going to be those three, because as much as I know you'd love to think of, especially Chris, you'd love to think of McLaren as a top flight team. They're not there yet.
Oh, I know they're not there. Are they shite there? Alpine were looking stronger than McLaren this season.
But even then, I don't think any of them were ever going to be rivaling the big three.
I don't see why. This is the thing. I don't understand why the likes of Aston, the Merc engine suppliers, the Ferrari engine suppliers, never can understand why they can't be up there because they're on the same sodding engines.
Yeah, but there's more to a car than an engine.
Yeah.
Well, we know that.
A basis of basic understanding, the engine maker will have a better understanding of that engine than anyone because they built it.
Well, yeah.
The thing is, though, if you're giving the engine to another team, they're not getting what. So, say, like, if Ferrari obviously gave
I
the
think
engine
it's
to.
proven that then when they didn't they say this year where they had to be getting the exact same package as
No,
the factory.
they have to be given. All the teams had the exact same engine packages. Right, let me just start that one again. All the teams that aren't obviously Ferrari or Merc themselves, they had to be given the same engine package. They had to be.
And as for things like ECUs and fuel pumps, most of them are supplied. Don't McLaren make like all the ECUs for everybody or something like that?
Fucking no idea
If
who
memory
makes that.
serves.
No idea.
I know a lot of those parts are standardised just to reduce cost and.
But then again, you could sit there and say that about the Red Bull powertrain.
It's Honda.
Yeah, it's still on.
Then why didn't AlphaTauri do as well?
Exactly.
So it makes no difference. You're going to have all these teams that have got engine suppliers. AlphaTauri being one of them. They're not doing as well. Has finished above them.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there. Has finished above
No, but that's just
AlphaTauri.
after the 2021 season. That is something you never thought you'd hear.
No.
I mean, we got a hat on pole this year.
Well,
2 points ahead of AlphaTauri. That's all it was in the end.
yeah. Well, Williams were at one point they were 8th in the drivers constructor championship. They were. 8th, and then they weren't. They got pushed back down to 10th.
Although Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin finished on level points, but
It-
Alfa Romeo were ahead.
They'll go on best results and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just... It's been a good season. That I'm not going to deny. In certain places, it's been a good season.
It's been one of the best seasons we've had for a lot of years.
It's just going to seem weird not having Sebastian Vettel on the grid next year. It still feels weird not to have Kimi on the goddamn grid.
Feels
I'm
amazing
afraid,
in the game.
I'm afraid everyone gets older. Eventually, all these people you think are the greatest will move on.
It's great not having them in the game.
You feel safer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, do you think Kimi would ever come back?
No.
No, he did it once, didn't he?
Yeah.
He may come back as a more of like a management role. But I don't think they'd have him back drive. I don't think
Fucking
any
hell.
team would want somebody his age. I can see him coming in the same way that football players seem to do well coming back as managers or coaches.
Can you see Kimi coming back as a team principal?
Oh,
For whom? Ferrari.
For any team. Can you imagine Kimi, the team
Oh
principal
my
for any
god.
team? Can you imagine the radio call messages?
you imagine from like the FA, Ben, yeah, we've got a team blocking the radio. They're not actually saying anything, but they've been blocking it for the last 10 minutes. Hang on, we'll go and get Ferrari. Kimmy's just there with his finger on the button, not saying anything.
Oh,
Can you imagine if he did the voice for the Talking Fuel Gauge for the next game?
Christ.
Sorry, did something happen? I was taking a shit.
Mm.
oh, can you imagine him as a commentator?
Oh my god.
No, because none of the commentators had to work with him, because none of them wanted to talk to him when they had to interview him.
Imagine him and Crofty in the commentator's box.
Oh no.
Um,
That's
if
almost
you've ever seen,
fucking hell.
was
That
it the longest yard where they do the football match at the end,
yeah.
and they've got the commentator and like a Native American or something like that?
Yeah.
It should be like that. Yeah, that was a great tackle, wasn't it, Sitting Bull? Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it'd be almost like bloody Murray Walker and James Hunt. That was...
What do you mean when they had to put them down to one microphone so they wouldn't talk over each other?
Yeah. Whoever thought of putting them two together? I mean, you know, Murray Walker was one of the greatest commentators.
The greatest. I'm sorry, I will
Yeah.
die on that hill. The greatest.
Well, yeah, but whoever thought of putting them two together?
But then again, we were discussing. I was talking about it before the race to other half of that. Brundle's got to been commentating for nigh on 30 years at this point.
Yeah.
Brundle's been doing it a long bloody time.
Got to be somewhere towards 30 years.
And he's still
He's been
going
far
strong.
longer than he ever raced.
Well, yeah. Bloody hell. Tyrrell don't exist.
1997 he started, apparently.
What, commentating?
Yeah.
So he's been doing it, what, 10?
25 years.
25, yeah.
Christ. Well, he's broken Kimi's record nearly then. Well, what was Kimi's record? Was it 20 or 25?
He wasn't consecutively, though, was he? He left for a few years in the middle.
Well, he's broken Kimi's record then.
Yeah, that's commentating.
And
Not
grid
racing, that's
walking. and
That's it. That's
whatever
what
else.
everybody turns into F1 for. Is his grid walk.
Fucking train wreck. I don't think he enjoys doing them anymore. I think he's lost.
I think he enjoys
The-
certain tracks, and there is some tracks now that he used to love. Now he just despises them.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think he really enjoys the grid walk.
I think the trouble is he's been dealt with so many. The grid walks seem to have become, and maybe this is a knock-on effect of the change in F1 management. It's not about the racing anymore. It's about what celebrity can get the face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the thing with that rapper at friggin' was it Miami or was it Coa last year, wasn't it?
Cota.
And then we had
Fucking
this,
that Megan
Oh yeah.
Stallion woman.
and then we had that thing with Gladiola at the start of this one, where it's just like you're a guest of F1, you're at the F1, for God's sake, get your head out your own fucking ass and
Yeah,
realise this.
We've said this before. Well, we've said this many a times on a podcast. That look, about the bodyguards and the celebs on the grid. If you ain't gonna respect it, fucking get off it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Get off the grid.
Yeah, he's not just there for you to post a couple of pictures on Instagram and hopefully gain a few followers.
Mm,
It's actually some serious business and means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of ordinary folks have saved up a lot of money just to get on that grid.
Mm.
Mm.
I don't know, can you actually sort of buy grid passes here? I think you have to get them through a team, don't you?
I think you can get them as part of certain VIP packages.
But you're
My
paying the
cousin was
earth.
fortunate enough.
Yeah.
My cousin was fortunate enough through his company. He was able to get one.
Right. Oh, very nice.
But yeah, you pay the absolute earth.
Yeah.
Just like the Vegas tickets. That's ridiculous.
Tell me about it. I'd have loved to have gone to that, but nah.
Not at them prices.
If anybody's listening and wishes for us to do a live podcast from Vegas,
Yeah.
we will take donations.
Yeah, please send in donations to, to please help us at gtuk.com.
Or just stick it on the PayPal link. You know where that one is. Yes, I do
Or
have.
Ko-fi or whichever one.
I actually do have a PayPal link set up for the channel.
I don't know you do, though.
Because I don't use Patreon anymore. Don't use Patreon or anything. But the only sort of donations that would come in for the channel would be through PayPal. And for the price of the Vegas tickets, let's put it this way. I waited in queue for some Vegas tickets just to see the price. It was over $7,000.
I was about to make a bit of a joke. Let's put it this way. Would you spend that much on a PC?
Well, let me number crunch. Let me do a quick number crunch.
God, here we go. He's going to tell you how many 1490s a ticket to Vegas is going to cost you, folks.
Anybody remember the exact price of it? I sent the picture in the PlayStation chat.
1 second there.
For about $7,000, you're looking around about £5,924.06.
Because the basic package, the $7,000 package is the exclusive package.
Right.
So if
Mark,
anybody wants to send about us a around nice figure of about 20 grand, just so we've got a bit of extra cash.
I know because if it's £7 a piece for us, that's 21, mate. We need more than 20 grand.
Sorry, it's 7,000 for the hospital. Right.
Well, I'm on about pounds.
Right. So, I've got the image in front of me. The grandstand, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, is 1,956.
And that didn't include Sunday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's the ticket dates they were doing.
And that doesn't include the race.
Doesn't include the race.
And is that dollars, yeah?
Euros.
Yeah, I went to the F1, but I didn't stay for the
Euros.
race. I didn't want
Well,
that bit. Just the practice
according to
session.
that, it was euros.
Okay, let me do.
Right, so it's going to cost you 1,600 quid at least, £1,700. Put it around figure, £1,700 for
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a grandstand seat.
Well, obviously, if that's euros, you're looking at pounds at 1,472.
I'm doing it in dollars.
You said euros a second ago.
It is euros on the site.
Go on, how many Bitcoin? Let's go around all the frigging numbers.
Well, if you're going by Bitcoin value, it would be
Fuck, he's got the
about
numbers down as well.
one Bitcoin is worth 13,364 at this point. So
Ouch.
yeah,
Ouch.
it's gone.
You can tell when I decided to look at cryptocurrency, can't you? Because I think when I looked, it was about 39 grand. I get involved and fucking plane crash.
One of the Americans' biggest crypto markets have just gone
Bust FTX, yes, I know.
bust. So yeah, that's put crypto, the one of the F1 sponsors, shall we say?
We've had this, pretty much every team has a crypto company on somewhere, don't they? I saw a thing on this a
Yeah,
while
they
ago.
do as a sponsor. Apart,
Yeah, well, Crypto.com were doing a lot of like tracks, but pretty much every team, if you go around them all.
Crypto.com was on Aston Martin as well.
Mm.
Mm,
But that I know the Red Bull, their main sponsor was a crypto firm.
yeah, but interesting fact, Mercedes lost a sponsor.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
know why.
that Bybit were crypto. Well, Mercedes, what, is it a crypto sponsor?
No, I don't know. There was a sponsor that was on the car that got removed.
I know what it was.
Do you?
Yeah, give me a second. Let me make sure I get the name exactly right.
Because I have
It
no
was a
idea.
frigging, it was a cladding company.
Was it? Oh, was it?
Kingspan, that was it. Kingspan Insulation. I'm sure it was one of them.
No, I meant recently. There was another sponsor that got removed from the car.
They had a they had to deal with Kingspan for the insulation, but then over the whole Grenfell Tower thing,
Yeah.
I've pulled that.
So if you're gonna do it in dollars, yeah, it's like £6,500 for Vegas, but that is only for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that's not even for the race. So I imagine that either the race tickets have sold out, or you have to pay extra for the race. So I think we should wrap up.
Yeah, I do as well. I'm here trying to find a picture of the Mercedes from Abu Dhabi to compare it to anyone in the year, but
I mean, have you guys got any more? Have you guys got any final closing thoughts on this season?
I want to put a couple of questions to you both.
Go on.
Most memorable race of the year?
Go on, Alan.
Man, them crickets allowed tonight.
Yeah.
That's how good a season it's been.
It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy season.
Yeah. We all keep saying it's been one of the best ones for years, and I actually honestly believe it has been.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would say is Danker Seb.
Yeah.
So you're not going to answer his question then?
Not like anybody's going to.
What question?
Jesus. Okay. For me, Monza
Monza.
and Brazil.
I was going to say Brazil. That Haas
Yeah.
pole position is going to live on, isn't it?
Brazil, and because of George winning as well. But
Yeah.
No. It has to be Monza and Brazil. Have been my two highlights.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, the other side of Monza was Zhao's crash at Silverstone.
Oof. He was lucky.
Very low, yeah.
And fans and everybody were lucky as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's lucky he had the catch fence. I mean,
Look, for a lot of things just happened to work right that day.
Yeah, but just the gap should never have been there, though. We will point that
Yeah.
that gap should never have been there. But it's like, that was almost as bad as the infamous fireball of Grosjean's crash.
Oh, yeah.
That was like when Grosjean was in spot, he was lucky to walk away from that. Guan Yu Zhou was lucky, to say the least, to walk away from the Silverstone crash. Like you say, the halo and everything. Didn't have that could have been a lot worse for Guan Yu Zhou.
Oh, yeah.
So, what was your highlights then, David? Or highlight?
Highlights. The highlights of one works, like I say, the memorable. Say it's Silverstone. It's that incident. The spectacular strength of the car. I think highlight's the wrong word, but
Well, not a highlight, but
standout moments.
one
That,
obvious.
and the just let's not forget this year was the year of the massive regulation changes.
Mm,
And the whole Merc side podless design, which didn't work, although they managed to work around it. But let's just say, I always applaud innovation in this game. Anyone who's willing to do something a bit different.
they tried
We
to.
had a real year of difference in the cars, where after a lot of previous years, it was starting to get the same.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see more of that. Teams try different things. I've said before, I'd love to change the engine configuration to where you just give them a minimum weight, a maximum horsepower, and tell them make whatever engine you want. So much power has to be hybrid,
What happened?
but make whatever engine you want
Yeah.
to fit those specs.
Yeah, but it won't happen.
No, unfortunately not. But it would just, you get somebody who go crazy and bring a freaking rotary back in or something. Somebody might try a diesel. But it would just give and it's innovation where we sometimes get the brilliant things that end up on our road cars in years down the line.
Mm.
Just now, top line supercars are playing with both the energy recovery and to an extent with the drag reduction system.
Like Bugatti's been doing that for a while, hasn't it?
Well, no, that was the other way. When the Bugatti would use the spoiler with an air brake, I know that much. But you've got top Ferraris and that are starting to mess with having like ERS systems. And eventually it will filter down to little battery boosts in everyday cars. It's got potential as the idea.
Yeah.
So's the tax.
What do you mean?
EVs are getting taxed.
I know, not before time either.
It's took them long enough.
No, I don't actually mean EVs. I mean, almost like I know you owned a hybrid in the past.
Hmm.
Imagine that system, but where it was spun round so that the electric literally was just a power boost. Go to overtake something, you can click on an extra 40 horsepower, touch of a button.
Yeah, which wouldn't be bad.
So it's stuff like that that could come through if they let the teams have a bit of freedom to actually
But
play with these ideas.
they won't, because this is why the FIA have set these regulations and everything to stop this.
Unfortunately, I don't disagree.
They've stopped the likes of, I don't know, let's say Williams getting their money together, sticking a drag engine into the bloody F1 car.
Well, like I say, you'd have to regulate. You give them like a minimum weight, maximum horsepower.
Somebody just sticks a frigging 1,100 horsepower engine in an F1 car.
Actually,
Why not? Let them have a go.
You what?
A drag engine would be brilliant for the 2 miles that they lived before they have to be rebuilt.
Exactly. And let's not forget, one of the other highlights was Alonso wheeling and finishing the race.
Oh yeah, the Alpine can be there doing bunny hops down the straight.
Yeah.
Jesus. That was just a hell of a, it was a scary moment because you thought, oh, is that car going to flip?
Well, not so much flip, but don't forget F1 cars have no suspension. So for that to
Yeah, they
slam
do.
down off the ground like that, well, they have very little. It's not designed for comfort. So for that car to slam down hard,
And still be drivable.
and for Alonso not to get out with his spine sticking out the top of his head.
But I still say Stroll needs to be taught a lot of lessons during the winter.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to have Alonso as a teammate next year, so he's going to get those lessons if he's not careful.
Too right, he'll get them bloody
I don't think
lessons.
Alonso won't take any shit off him.
No.
There was actually a thing, I was reading something, I heard it. Give it 3 races before before Alonso has a massive argument with the Stroll family.
Well, I'm, and this is just my thing that I'm going to finish with here. I'm very surprised.
In English?
I'm very surprised.
It's alright, folks. We're going to do alcohol testing before the F1 race later.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that Vettel didn't just do a Michael Schumacher on him, on Stroll.
No, I think Seb's a bit more controlled than that.
But what's
Plus, you don't do it. Plus, doing it to your teammates risky at the best time. When your teammate's the boss's son.
That's the only reason he's got the sodding drive.
It'd be an interesting method of resigning.
Yeah.
Because that's what you'd be doing at that point.
Well, there's going to be fireworks if he does shit like that with Alonso, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, I think Alonso will tell him where to go and how to get there.
Yeah, he won't stand for it. Because look at him, how he was towards Ocon at the end.
Yeah.
That got a bit spicy. He wasn't happy. He wasn't a happy man. Was not a happy Spaniard, that's for sure.
Either way, it's going to be a good season next season.
I've no doubt we will do a pre-season podcast when we can fit it in between your various jet setting across the world. So I have a couple of things I'll leave for that one so we can get tonight wrapped up. I'll start making notes now.
Well, you're going to have to start making notes because it's a long time.
Tell me about it. Making notes about what? What we're doing?
Exactly.
And on that bombshell.
Very much. So yeah, because we've just completely gone off, to sum up a couple of things. Abu Dhabi was a good race, but not a good race. Seb has now retired, and we've got the team swaps, and we've now got to wait about 103 days. Or
104 days.
103.
Well, technically now 90 would be about 100, 90 something till the testing ground. It's not 103 till the first race is in it.
Yeah, but I'm going to
Well,
the
the testing ran
I'm
a fortnight
going to
before.
I'm going to 103 days. I'll go to the first race.
Fair enough.
But yeah. So we shall be back with the 2023 pre-season
Right.
podcast in March. Sorry, end of February, but you'll get to hear it in March.
He hasn't specified which March. Let's point that out.
March of 2023 before the season starts. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitch. Thank you to these two nutters again for this entire crazy season of podcasts.
We keep doing it and he keeps inviting us back, folks. We don't know what it's going to take for him to get rid of us, but we're trying.
We're also not trying hard enough.
No, you're not. So yeah. So we shall see you all next time. So until then.
Adios, amigos.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Shouldn't it be so long and thanks for all the tyres?
Nah, it was many things, and well, would you call it a good year?
I'd call it a Bridgestone year.
Well, they were Pirelli, so both our jokes failed.
So yeah.
Goodbye, folks.
Goodbye for
On
now.
that bombshell.